Hello guys, this is the second video as I promised. In this video I will show you how I make my junk books. I mean the ones that have hard covers like this one. And of course I will show you the binding system that I use. You can recycle old book covers or any different kind of cardstock that you have at home to make the cover for your junk book. In this case I'm using just some cardstock that I bought, and the thickness of it is 3 millimeters. I add 5 millimeters to the top, bottom and one side so that my signature will fit properly. Usually my spines are 5 centimeters wide, but of course it all depends on the number of signatures, of pages, and the amount of embellishments that you want to fit into your junk book. Also remember about the actual memorable things that will be added to this book, like photos, memorable pieces of scraps and fabrics, etc. As you can see, I've added a fabric layer to assemble all the pieces of my cover. Usually I use cotton for that. Make sure that the space between these pieces is no less than the thickness of your cover of your cardstock. At all stages, please try to be neat, because if you use some thin fabric for your top layer, there might be some visible things like wrinkles, some uneven surfaces. So pay attention to that. For the top layer, in this case, I will be using quite thick materials like leather and thick fabrics. So I don't really have to be worried about any glue parts that might come through the fabrics. But if your layers are not too thick, then please do pay attention to that. To avoid the glue spots, you can make sure that the layer of your glue is quite thin, and just in case, be ready to decorate some areas where the glue will be visible. So I will add all the patches and will make neat corners. There is nothing special about that when you use leather, because leather is quite responsive and you can stretch it and shape it the way you want. But when we talk about a fabric corner, then you have to be more precise, more patient. It's a bit more complicated, so please check on some other videos of mine with this process. Also, don't forget about these folds so that you will be able to open your book properly. At this point, the main work is done, and all I have to do now is to embellish my cover. In some cases, it's enough just to glue some fabrics, laces, etc. But right now, I will be doing quite hard work using different tools. I embellish my hard covers just the same way as I did with the soft one. It's just it's more complicated. It's more difficult to poke the holes, so it will take some time to deal with all these lines. And of course I cannot use my sewing machine, so I do have some restrictions when I choose decorative elements. I highly recommend you to play with these hand stitches, because this personal touch is always charming. And if you don't know how to embellish your cover, it's enough just to make these patches and embellish them with these pretty stitches. That's it. You have this really beautiful patchwork as a result. Only when you're done with the top layer, then you can deal with the inside. First I cover my spine with some soft, not too thick fabric, and then I will assemble all the signatures, and only after that I will decide whether or not I will be using any closures. And after the closures, only then I can attach the leaflets to the inner side of my cover. With every new layer I'm checking on my folds, and here I'm playing with the closures. I have plenty of those metallic things, so I have something to choose from. I bought those things from AliExpress. Most of my charms and other metallic embellishments come from AliExpress. Make sure that this area opposite to the spine has the same width, and if it doesn't, then you still have a chance to fix it. For some reason this time I arranged the leaflets before I assembled all the signatures. Usually I do it the other way around. However, don't forget to play with edges if you did that with the rest of your pages, and if you need to make some pocket when you need to use some sewing machine, this is the right time to do that. And then you can glue this piece to the cover. In all my junk journals, junk books, I use this 3 holes binding technique, so there will be nothing new here right now. So as always, I'm choosing the order of my signatures, making sure that all the pages are not upside down, and then I begin with the central signature if I have like 3 of them, or if I had 4 of them I would begin with the last one, then with the first one, and then I would deal with the central two. As you can see, I'm poking the first hole in the middle, then I go to one side, will make a loop, then I will get back to the center and will make another loop on the other side. This will be actually it. The only thing is here that makes it different from my usual junk books is that this binding is open. Usually my spine is covered with another piece of paper or fabric or something, but in this case I did all these pretty stitchings and I don't want to cover them. For that reason I have to make all the stitches even so that the spine will look neat. But I do recommend you to leave the spine not decorated until the very end, and only after you deal with all the signatures, then you just layer it with some fabric or paper. Otherwise, when your stitches are visible, then you have to make sure that they look nice, and then you have troubles matching the cover holes and signature holes. Well, it's just some extra work that you don't really want to do. Don't forget to secure your signatures with a few knots. Also, don't forget to remove those threads that you don't need anymore. And usually I use white glue to make sure that my threads will stay in place. This is actually it. I attached the other 2 signatures the same way, and my junk book is ready. I do spend a lot of time to double check whether everything is fine and I don't have to fix or embellish anything. But basically this is it. The book is ready. I hope you found this video useful, and if you're interested in making a softcover junk journal, then please check on the part 1. For now, please stay safe, healthy, and creative.